Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. We'll start with the headlines. Their Highnesses and Excellencies, the foreign ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries discuss issues related to the region on the sideline of meetings of the UN General Assembly. The Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development signs a memorandum of cooperation to support Sharaka, Forum of Youth Projects. And Government Efficiency Program and Competency Strategy of Training are tabled before the Board of Directors of the Institute of Public Administration. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed has received more cables of greetings on the blessed Eid al-Adha. His Majesty the Sultan received cables from His Excellency President Isaias Afwerki of the State of Eritrea, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President of the United Arab Emirates, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Heir Apparent of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces in the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jabr Sabah, Crown Prince of the State of Kuwait, His Excellency Tamam Salam, Prime Minister of Lebanon, His Excellency Dr. Abdullah, the Chief Executive of Afghanistan, His Excellency Dr. Nabil Al Arabi, Secretary General of the Arab League, and His Excellency Iyad Amin Madani, Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. His Majesty also received greetings, cables on this happy occasion from their Highnesses, their Excellencies, Ministers, Advisors, Honorable Members of the State Council, Members of the Shura Council, Under Secretaries, Omani Ambassadors abroad, and Ambassadors sisterly and friendly Arab and Islamic countries accredited to the Sultanate, senior officials in the Arab and Islamic world, sheikhs, dignitaries, and citizens. In their cables, they expressed their sincere greetings and best wishes of good health, well-being, and a long life to His Majesty the Sultan, praying to Allah the Almighty for the return of this and similar occasions on His Majesty for many years to come, and the Omani people for their progress and prosperity under the wise leadership of His Majesty. His Majesty the Sultan replied to the cable of well-wishers on this happy occasion, expressing his thanks for their sincere greetings and best wishes, wishing them good health, happiness, and a long life, praying to Allah the Almighty for the return of this blessed occasion on them and the Arab and Islamic nations with blessings. On the sidelines of the works of the UN General Assembly in New York, the foreign ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries held a coordination meeting to discuss regional and international issues. The meeting is meant to unify attitudes of the GCC countries in preparation for the meetings to be held in the coming days with regional countries and entities. The ministers reviewed the Syrian crisis and means of eliminating the ordeal of Syrians, as well as the Yemeni dilemma and ways to reach a peaceful solution and end the war before it threatens security in the region. The Public Authority for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development Riyada and Youth Development Fund Projects Sharaka signed a Memorandum of Understanding for cooperation aiming to support Sharaka Forum, which will be held on the 14th of December. The forum this year will discuss the role of various media channels in developing SMEs, in addition to contributing to determine the best local and regional practices in benefiting from these channels. The Ministry of Sports Affairs announced at a press conference the addition of 3 fields in the club's competition for youth innovation in its 3rd edition. The new fields are chess, digital design, and cultural contest. Such competitions aim to develop youth work and attract the excelled in various youth activities, as well as to enhance their capabilities in different cultural, social, arts, and sports activities. The competition will be conducted in 3 stages. The Board of Directors of the Institute of Public Administration during its meeting today discussed the framework of Government Competencies Program. Around 45 directors generals from different states' administrative apparatus took part in the program. The meeting also discussed the training strategy of the Institute to achieve training requirements and develop administrative leadership skills, as well as update specialized qualification programs. The meeting also reviewed generalization project due to be issued by the Institute to determine the training requirements of the year 2016 for government units. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Umar al-Marhoon, Minister of Civil Service, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Institute. Oman Air will receive its first Boeing 787 Dreamliner in October, as the people of Salalah will be amongst the first in the world to see the iconic aircraft in its distinctive Oman Air livery. Salalah's enthusiasm for Oman Air's products and services has been a key element in the success of the airline's domestic network. Oman Air's new Dreamliner is one of 6 currently on order. Following delivery of the first aircraft in October, a second Dreamliner will arrive with the airlines in November 2015. The Oman oil price November delivery reached $44.48 according to Dubai Mercantile Exchange, DME. The DME statement today said that the price of Oman oil rose 16 cents from the price of last Friday, which was $44.32. The average price of Oman oil, September delivery 2015, has stabilized at $56 and 33 cents, thus $5.51 per barrel lower than August delivery 2015. And still to come in our news bulletin. German fever has now gripped Damascus, where young professional students are scrambling to learn German, a prerequisite for student visas. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Airstrikes by the Arab coalition killed 23 Houthi rebels at a village in northwestern Yemen. Coalition helicopters and planes targeted a building used by the rebels at the village of Zaila in Hajjah province, which borders Saudi Arabia. The airstrikes came as the Saudi army announced yesterday that one of its generals was killed while on duty in the kingdom's Jazan province near the border with Yemen. He is the second high-ranking Saudi military official to have been killed on the border this weekend. The Taliban today seized partial control of a major Afghan city, the first time they have done so since the US-led invasion of 2001. Kunduz in the northeast is the country's 5th largest city, situated around 250 kilometers north of the capital, Kabul. A senior tribal elder said the militia had control of one of the city's districts, while a second elder added his house was now around 100 meters from their forward line. The group was driven out of cities when it was ousted from power by NATO's coalition in 2001, but has maintained control over parts of the countryside. For the first time in decades, sky gazers were in with a double spectacle Monday of a swollen supermoon bathed in the blood-red light of a total eclipse. The celestial show, visible from the Americas, Europe, Africa, West Asia and the East Pacific, was the result of the Sun, Earth and a larger-than-life extra-bright moon lining up for just over an hour from 0 to 11 GMT. The moon was at its closest orbital point to Earth, called perigee, while also in its brightest phase, resulting supermoon looked 30% brighter and 14% larger than when it's at apogee, the farthest point, which is about 49,800 kilometers from perigee. The moon travels to a similar position every month, but the tilt of its orbit means it normally passes above or below the Earth's shadow. So most months have a full moon minus the eclipse. Super Typhoon Dujuan battered Taiwan with torrential rains and fierce winds today as it made landfall on the northeastern tip of the island. The storm hit earlier than expected after picking up speed. It approached with more than 7,000 people evacuated in advance. Authorities said tens of thousands of homes were without power in the island's north. Waves crashed along the east coast and the capital Taipei was swept with wind and rain. When customers ask which of the backpacks displayed in the Damascus Souk Al-Khija market is the sturdiest, the shopkeepers know they're planning to take to the sea to try to reach Germany. Here's a report with more details.
In this Damascus market, customers are browsing for bags. One item has experienced a surge in popularity lately, the backpack. That's because it's better suited for a trip by sea, as more and more Syrians choose to illegally make their way to Europe.
Before, we sold more rolling travel bags than backpacks because people used to travel by plane. But now it's the opposite. I sell more backpacks than rolling bags because backpacks are waterproof, they float on water, they're more comfortable for long distances on foot, and they're easy to move around with.
250,000 Syrians have been killed in 4 years of armed conflict, and 4 million have fled. One country is increasingly seen as the promised land, Germany. But obtaining a visa requires knowledge of basic German. More than 25 schools have started teaching it in the capital since the start of the conflict in 2011. The Ibn Sina Institute has even stopped teaching English to meet the demand for German language courses.
We used to teach 5 German classes a month before 2012, but now we teach 15 classes a month, and we've increased the number of our German teachers from 3 to 8, sometimes even more.
Among the students, Mu'min, a 26-year-old doctor looking to specialize in internal medicine.
I did some research on 3 different countries, Germany, the UK and the States. And I found that Germany offered more facilities for doctors.
College student Ahmad has been studying German for 4 months, and he's found a way to keep practicing as he waits for his visa to finally come through.
My German level is enough for me to help my friends and relatives who also want to travel to Germany, because they have to learn the fundamentals of the language too.
Damascus remains relatively less dangerous than other parts of war-torn Syria. Still, many are restless to leave, like in this center offering translations from Arabic to German. They're regularly taken by storm by would-be candidates.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Their Highnesses and Excellencies, the foreign ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, discuss issues related to the region on the sideline of meetings of the UN General Assembly. The Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development signs a memorandum of cooperation to support the Sharaka Forum of Youth Projects. And Government Efficiency Program and Competency Strategy of Training are tabled before the Board of Directors of the Institute of Public Administration. With that, we come to an end to tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, good night.